topic, which is what everyone loves. We got homework.
Homework.
Everyone loves homework.
Yes.
Also, get questions ready because our next section after this will be closing thoughts and Q&A. So get your questions ready.
What should I be practicing by myself at? With the goal of getting better at defending.
Alright, so anyways, one of the big important things is being able to move properly. So we've got a big topic of that on the art of movement on the YouTube channel, but I'm going to take control away from you to show players what they can do. So if you, in practice mode, if you go to the repeat action option, set the opponent to do various things. The record option is really handy because if you have been put into a situation where you're not sure what to deal with, you can go in, take control of the opponent, and you can. Oh wait, I can't actually do this on this because I don't have the touchpad on my stick. So you'll have to take over. So switch user. Power. Yeah, there. All right, so Johnny will demonstrate the recording. So, like for example, being able to step out of block stun. Like if you're dealing with a Jin that likes to like down forward one, down back four, you will something like that.
Edit.
Yeah, so you record that. Oh, it is? Oh, you didn't do it. Alright, so get up from the wall. And so, like, practice blocking that first hit and then stepping out at the second hit.
Ooh.
Yeah, so test the getting hit by properties as well, because you might not be able to move afterwards. So it looks like on that particular setup, you can, on block, you can sidestep both options. You can sidestep both ways. But you can practice that to get used to doing it, because it'll serve you well on a match. So that's the first thing to do is you can try setting up several different scenarios. You can pick a character that you have a hard time against, and especially if you know like a certain set of moves that they like to use together. Johnny's gonna figure out what to do about that sidestep 1-2 sidestep stuff.
At home. Yeah, like within a situation that people probably get in trouble with is 2-1. They say 2-1 and 4, follow up with 4 is a little hard to deal with.
I don't think you can step that to the right anymore.
Oh.
That was good earlier.
Oh yeah, the first one? First one isn't good. Second one is good.
Oh, no delay, you can't step anymore.
So it's good because that, that string otherwise, you probably wouldn't have even have found that. So, prime reason why record function is the single greatest thing. Practice mode.
Yeah, because that way you can practice the delay too.
Practice exactly how it happened to you online.
Or in your offline casuals. Yeah, so being able to step out of the block stun, that's super important in defense. So I would give that a practice or two. So the next thing I would do is I would do some practice slow low blocking and throw breaking practice. Now I do these at the same time. The way I do these is I go into the speed action and I go to the move list and pick one of the throws. Like for starting off with, you'll probably want to do the 1+2, 1+3, and 2+4 throws. So just the and do that.
Shoulder first or double.
And then pick a slow, like what does Jin have that's like a slow low?
Yo, yes, see.
Yes, for him. All right, so you pick those things, and then you just actually go back to the menu. So you see we've got 3 different actions. Two of them are throws, and one of them is the slow low. So they're all set to 100. That means they'll all happen equally as likely. You can lower those down if you want something to happen less likely. Yeah, so that.
How sweet. Happen.
All right. So then, so if you're having, it's useful to lower something down that you feel like you're getting better at dealing with. That way you'll see it less. That way it's more of a surprise when it comes up.
Yes. Very smart.
All right. So then you set it to go, and then you just try to break the throws when they come out, and then block the low. It comes out. Practice doing this. Now, one thing that I also like doing is actually go back to the menu because I forgot to mention this. Interval between action. Down, down, down. Now, set that to random. That way you are not necessarily sure when the move is coming. That adds some uncertainty to...
See, I tried to break the I was in, which is what you don't want.
All right, you want to be completely reacting.
When breaking throws, the generic throws are a little easier to break, so the practice for it will be as difficult. When it comes to the command throws, back in Tag 2, I would like to practice it. I would really like to pay attention to, like to say it out loud. So, gonna throw me, and he did 2 throws, so I would say 2. Because that helps, and like it gets my brain activated, like it gets something moving switch-wise or something to help me break the throw.
Right, so after you get good at breaking the normal throws, that's when you switch over to the command throws and start trying to break those. Those are going to be significantly more difficult to break. So, spend some time in practice mode doing this. I've actually probably spent 30 or 40 hours in practice mode just doing this.
This is extremely difficult, especially at first. Time.
Yeah, so you might start doing it like 10, 15 every day. Doesn't take that long to set up, and then just start getting used to it. I would increase the low. Because,
yeah, breaking some. I like to try and break at least 5 in succession, where I try to increase or change parameters. It's consistency is the key, because you're gonna break 10 times in practice mode and break 1 of them every game when you're actually fighting.
all right, so when you're breaking throws in game, you're also thinking of a lot more things. So at this point, you're just priming your brain to start seeing them. You might not be able to break throws in an actual game for a while, but this is the first step getting to that point.
Macros blinking every.
All right. So, anyways, the next thing we want to do is practice options out of the heavy blocks done. So we're gonna be doing practice mode again. So let's go ahead and this time we're gonna do record on these. We'll be getting rid of all of them. So it's like if your opponent is Jin, in this particular case it is, So you would record an action of him doing heavy block stun move into a into one of his safe follow-ups. Then you would also record him doing some alternate follow-ups that might happen. So like CDS4 or something like that. Or doing it again. Twice. Are there any other good options?
Yeah, you can't set options.
Alright, so then you would just let him go and try doing your options. See if you can find something that you've got that will beat all the options. Sometimes you won't necessarily be able to. You won't necessarily be able to beat all the options at some point, but at least you'll know what you can do for an option.
You can make them think twice about it. If you're, back on like making reads, if you feel like they're gonna try and beat your option, already one step ahead and hit the mind game.
So Wolfie asks, is it true to break throws you have to pay attention to the hand that is grabbing you? Yeah, so we talked a bit about this earlier, but the short version is generic 1+3 or 2+4 throws can be broken by either a 1 or a 2. All command grabs have to have the specific input. If the left hand goes out farther, then it's a 1 break. If the right hand goes out farther, it's a 2 break. If both hands go out equally, it's a 1+2. There are some throws that have special animations that look different, so you have to pay attention to them. King's giant swing looks like a 2 break to me, so it's a 1 break. Yeah, so some various things, characters that have some heavy block stun moves to practice on, like dragging off back 1+2 or running 2. Those are both really good moves to test out what you can do. Who else has? Like most characters have moves that get heavy blocks done.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
Like anyone that has like a running 3. Mina doesn't. Mina doesn't have a running 3.
Courtney.
Imagine if she had a running 3. You know how OP that would be.
She has one now. That one, her new move.
That running 1+2. But that's 0. Not +7.
That's a Nina play.
Alright. Yeah. So. I practice doing your options out of this heavy block stun, so that way when you get put into an actual match, you'll have a better idea of what you can and can't do there. Yeah, so did you have anything else that they should practice on defense?
When you're starting out, or actually all together, I think a lot of characters have their favorite moves. Like for Jin, his favorite moves, like 4-4-2, L sweep, 4-4-3, moves like that. If you don't want to practice everything, because that can be very exhausting, just learn like the really important stuff. That'll get you far enough. Like for Nina, what do you think to practicing?
Well, her down forward 1-2 into sidestep and sidestep, down 4, up forward 2-1 string, and delayed, firm, the forward 2-1-4 and forward 2-1 strings. Dug that last hit. finish that last.
See, I didn't even know that. I didn't even consider that move.
Wipe the floor. Or go with your low. Down back 3. Down 2.
So Nina has plenty of moves to look out. Think about half.
Down back 2. Down.
Yeah.
Back 2 2 2.
Yeah. When I practice, I like to practice the meat and potatoes of, especially like the new characters, since I probably won't even know the tactics if they're new. It's the stuff that would otherwise get me.
Alright, so, and the last thing I would say is that on our previous Tekken tutorials, like we've got talked about punishing. We didn't really talk about a lot of punishing in this defensive tutorial, because we just did a punishing tutorial. But punishing is really important for defense because it gives your defense teeth. If you're just blocking everything but not punishing them for it, they'll still do it. So go back and take a look at the punishing tutorial, go and do the practice there. The movement tutorial also has some more homework assignments for how to do it properly. Poking tutorial has some information about how to counter poke. Like when you're dealing with getting poked, how to poke back. So those all have aspects of defense too. So I would read those as well. We're looking for more stuff. All right. So now we're on to closing thoughts